We are in the beautiful northeastern part of Republic of South Africa. We are inside the big stone circle, and the closest town is waterfall Boffen. It's late afternoon. At 4:30 p.m. I've done several energy measurements here, and I'd like to introduce you to them. The temperature is about 28 degrees. Now, one of the measurements I've done was using this material here, this instrument here. It's called air ion counter. It measures ions, negative and positive ions in the air. What does it mean, negative ions? Negative ions are electrical charge, free electrons in the air. If there are some free electrons, that's good, because negative ions, they connect with the dust, they connect with the pollen, and they go on the ground, so they clear the atmosphere. So more negative ions, better for us. Not only that they clear the atmosphere, they also help us to clear the body from viruses, bacteria, and they increase the level of oxygen in our body. In our contaminated cities, the concentration is about 150 to 200 negative ions per cubic centimeter. In our homes, it is about 25 to 50 negative ions per cubic centimeter. However, the positive ions, which are not good for us, and they've been generated by all kinds of equipment, machines, like microwaves, TVs, laptops, computers, mobile phones, and so on. They produce positive ions. That's why we feel sleepy and tired when we are surrounded with a lot of equipment. So the idea is to keep the positive ions low and to have more negative than positive. So our homes, 25 to 50. Our contaminated cities, 150 to 100. Here, what we are measuring, these are the negative ions. It's about 360, 510, 420. So it's between 4 and 800. So the concentration changes. If I'm close to it, it means that negative ions connect with my body, clearing the body, and their level decrease. So it is 400 to 800. Now positive ions, let's wait till it calibrates. Right now it shows 1,800, 600, 500, 400, 500, 600, 700, 8, 7, 6, 5. So it drops down to 400. So it's about from 400 to 600, 700. So it's pretty much the same level of positive and negative. Now 600, it's a good level. However, if we go higher in, let's say, pine tree forests, it goes to 800, 900, 950.
Positive ions.
Negative. Positives are very close, maybe 100 or 200 less. The largest I measured in nature was a lake in Slovenia. It's called Crkniško jezero. It was 5,000. And the largest I measured ever, anywhere, the Bosnian Pyramid tunnels. The concentrations are from 20,000 to 60,000. These are the concentrations we can measure all year long. And the highest, really, the maximum, about 100,000. 100,000 is what we have near some waterfalls, like between US and Canada, the largest waterfall in the world. It's also close to 100,000. So extremely beneficial. So here the values about 600, they are good. The next thing, this instrument right here, it measures what we call EM smog, bad electromagnetic fields. It's on right now, and to easier to follow, we can see three colors: green, yellow, red. Green, good for us; yellow, threshold; red, no bueno. So right now I walk, it's 0, 0, 0, 0. Up. Oh, we had the mobile phone, but basically it's around 0, 0, meaning no EM smoke. And talking about the mobile phones, I have the cell phone here. So we go to settings, connections, Wi-Fi on, scanning for Wi-Fi network. So it's not on the Wi-Fi, it's just scanning. So, you know, it's sending the scans out. And look what happened. You see? Red. Just for scanning. And we are not on the Wi-Fi. And much worse, imagine it can be worse, is when we talk. But the point is, this place has 0 EM smoke.
That's very good information.
That's excellent. The next thing, this machine here, it measures moisture in different materials. For example, moisture or water absorption is crucial when it comes to concrete, so when you make structures. If you have too much moisture in a concrete during the winter time, especially in the places where the temperature goes below freezing, during the winter time the water freezes, and once you have ice has a tendency to expand and concrete breaks. Our norms today are up to 3%. So we allow construction companies to have up to 3% moisture. On my way here, I was measuring this material. It's the same natural stone like the one on the road. It was from 2.5 to 4%. And that was a rock, it was a stone. But still it has some moisture. And let's see what we have here. We have 1.9, meaning it's 2 times less than what we have in the nature. What does that mean? 2 explanations. Either they were choosing the best material, just 2.1, the best material around in order to build this stone circle, or just by the fact that we have so much stone on one place and certain energy interaction, it helped the moisture to be kind of reduced, on a reduced level. Less moisture, better the quality.
Would you mind measuring this one, Sam? Quickly while you got it in your hand. What is the moisture content of this?
Very good, 1.7.
I'll explain why later.
Okay.
This stone has less moisture content than the stone on the road.
All right.
Correct.
Now,
But I'll explain why that is the case and what happens in the process.
this instrument measures different gases. Oxygen, 20.9, which is ideal. And then there is no carbon monoxide, no poisonous gases here also. Now this instrument here, it's called experimental life energy meter. It measures, in simplified terms, level of the life energy. Now the way it works, it has a scale from 0 to 100. So for example, When I turn it on, it shows about 26%. So even though this is just nature is alive also, 26%. Our homes are usually at 10% because we have a lot of instruments and machines and a lot of bad stuff in our homes. So 10%. So here is 25%. And that's something you would expect. You're in the nature, the forest is around us, we don't have contamination or plants around us. When it comes to the stones are reaching about 28 to 30%, meaning the stone, their level energy is even a little bit higher. That's not something that you would expect. For example, when you touch the grass, you see grass is alive, it's about 36%. The humans, put your hands on this blue square, just 3 fingers like this. You see, she is about 78%, so she is alive. Yes.
You are more.
More. You try? 75?
Less than you.
80? 80? 80? 75? 72? 75? 80? 82? Very good, Françoise. Françoise, 70. So Françoise is
The most alive.
most alive here. 2, 3, 1.
Whoa.
Put another one, 3, like
3
this,
fingers.
like this.
It's missing
Okay,
1/3.
Very good, 70. Okay, so what does it mean, life energy? In engineering terms, it's the ability of the body, object, or nature to receive electromagnetism. More alive, meaning we are more ready to receive the bad electromagnetic fields. So here in the stones, 28 to 30%. That's very good. Yes, sir. Higher on the scale, it means better. It means that, yes, you can receive, so you are capable of getting more, so you are more alive. You know, how many of you were in Bosnian Pyramid tunnels? Bosnian Pyramid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, almost half of you. You remember that big block, K2, the most attractive? It is at 45. Some people who were coming there, they were at 50%. And K2, 45. That ceramic block is alive. And now we have the proof. Okay, let's go through other measurements. Okay, moisture. Magnetic field. Magnetic field, last year I had interesting anomaly. When I was coming here, magnetic field was almost about 70 microtesla, 70. But the moment I got inside the circle, it dropped to about 25. And right now, it's from 21 to 30 microtesla. So the average strength is about 21. And it's rather good. It's rather good. I mean, it would be even better if it is 25 and higher, but this is a rather good value. And then when it comes to the ultrasound is something that we cannot hear. We hear from 10 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Everything above 20 kilohertz is called the ultrasound. The values we have here are from 19 to 21 kilohertz, meaning it is at the threshold. But since I was measuring for about 5 minutes, during those 5 minutes I had 3 spikes, and they were from 28 to 32 kilohertz, and I cannot identify the origin of those spikes. So it's something like happens, 70 seconds nothing, and then something happens again. Ultrasound. For me, it requires more measurement and to stay here for a couple of hours, let the machine record everything and see if it is something that is on a regular basis. Then infrasound is something that also we cannot hear. It's below 10 hertz. But what we did, threshold, we set here at about 20 hertz because we are saying sound we can hear 10, but we cannot hear 10 hertz. We cannot hear even 20 hertz. We can hear probably from 40, 50 hertz. We cannot hear 20 kilohertz. We can hear maybe 15 or 20 kilohertz. So, and as you are getting older, this range is getting smaller and smaller. Now, in the area of infrasound, we had very strong signal at strong signal at 25 hertz. Something I cannot hear, most of us cannot hear, but something is happening here below us. And like I said, ultrasound or 70-second spikes, they are very interesting. But in general, the place is almost dormant. It's not working fully, but it's, something is happening. I use also special camera developed by our late friend Dr. Harry Oldfield. Harry Oldfield in 1990s developed so-called Pip camera. With Pip camera he was able to film bioenergy fields, as he called them, which are not visible to the naked human eye. And 5 years back he upgraded that system with a new one called New Energy Vision. New Energy Vision, which I have in my hands. And okay, I'll try to activate it.
The interesting thing about this camera, it shows levels of intelligence. You can you can take pictures of someone, it tells you how intelligent that person is.
Oh, amazing.
We're going to do that test tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is there some test on the planning?
Okay, come. It's very, very strong sun, but look at there. Can you see those lines?
Yes.
Red and
Yes,
green and
yes,
red
yes.
and blue. So this is the type.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's a very strong light. But anyway, what I was doing with this camera, if you have, in simplified terms, very light colors, light blue, light green, light colors, it means something very positive is coming from that place. If you have dark colors, dark red, dark brown, it's literally dark energy. Well, I was checking all these walls and noticed only the light green colors, meaning the structure was devoted to something positive. Some light energy processes here are happening. If this structure had orientation, it would be rather logical that the entrance is there. However, when you go there, you will notice that this was not an entrance, because on the ground and a little bit underground you will see more plates, meaning these are like foundation plates, meaning that this was closed. Everything was closed. So this circle originally did not have doors or windows or any other openings, which does not make sense for us. It does not match our concept. What we do, we buy blocks and then we build homes with doors and windows and roofs. This is something different. It was not very practical to have something which is completely enclosed. So this is the outer structure. Now we are coming to also a very interesting part, especially for me. What we have here, we can call one, damaged stone circle. These walls, without the binding material, The usual terms in archaeology is dry walls. Very compact, but no binding material. No cement, no binder. As a matter of fact, what they used as a binder, you see how they have different size plates? In the middle, they were placing the smaller stones. You see them here? You see them there? And really, they acted as a binder because they were filling the voids, they were filling the empty places between larger plates. So they were acting as a binder. So this is the technology that has been used for thousands of years. For example, on Adriatic coasts, in Italy, in Greece, the whole Mediterranean basin, for 3, 4, 5,000 years. Now, I've done the measurement this time rather precise of this circle. This circle, the circumference is 149 meters, almost 150 meters.
Wow, it's more than I thought.
That's the outer structure. When we think about the original height, if you see that section over there, look at that section, look at that section, and especially over there. The average height is 2 meters and 45 centimeters, almost 2.5 meters. And average thickness is 0.9 meters. So it's between 85 centimeters on some places, with some of the plates, sticking out almost 1 meter. Interestingly enough, there's the same thickness of the stone walls in another culture in America called Anasazi. In the place called Chaco Canyon, they had 13, apartment complexes, as I call them. The most beautiful one in Chaco Canyon was Pueblo Bonito. The thickness of their walls and the same type of the structure, 1 meter, 90 centimeters to 1 meter. So this is the thickness. In order to calculate the mass of the outer walls, follow me, 149 meters times 2 meters 45 height times 0.9 thickness times specific weight of this material, which is about 2.5. So we have 328 cubic meters times 2.5 is 821 tons. 821 tons.
But you have to take away some porosity, right? Because not just a block.
Some, yes. Some, but they are very compact. Take a look. Very compact, right? But probably 10%, I agree. So, more than 800 tons, it is like you would need to bring 40 big 20-ton trucks to dump it here. That's the outer structure. The inner structure, I calculated the length. The inner structure, 230 meters. Now, the height is less. Like behind Dirk, you see the height there. When you add what is a little bit below the ground is about 1 meter 80. 1 meter 80. So 230 times 1 meter 80 times about 80 centimeters, 330 cubic meters times 2.5, 828. So total is about 1,650 tons. What amazes me though is even though the length of the outer and inner structure is different, the mass of material, how much material they use outside, matches the mass of the material in inner structure. So both of them are about 825 tons. Now this is the completely new information on stone circles. The next thing, we can see that they use those plates to build those dry walls. Now the plates are all different dimensions. all different thicknesses. As far as thicknesses, it goes anywhere from 2 centimeters to 15 centimeters thick. Majority of the plates are, when it comes to the mass, between 2 kilos and 30 kilos. Of course, we need to add the smaller rocks which they use as the binder. Now, I was calculated also how many individual plates they had to bring here. First, of course, they needed to make them, wherever they were making them. Of course, the process, since you are not making the same size, was much quicker. Basically, you hit it, and especially, in sedimentary rocks, you got those different layers, so you can get relatively flat plates. But it was not really so simple because of the quantity. So it's about 280 plates. 280 plates on a height of 245. Huh? So 1 meter, 245, we have 280 plates. 280 plates, 1 meter in length, times, we had 149 outer, but inner is 328. But when you get the average as far as the height, the total is 84,000 plates. 84,000 plates. That was a big job just for one stone circle. And over the next few days you will be able to see dozens, probably hundreds on Michael's presentations, maybe even thousands, or he's rather optimistic, claiming millions. But in any case, you're talking about a huge construction effort. We can also see 15 piles. Sarah is laying on one of them. 15 piles, of course they came later. As the structure has been here for a very long time, the weather, the people, tectonic movements, earthquakes were damaging parts of the stone, so people were getting them together. On some places probably they did make even little smaller structures, little chambers, so they can be there. So of course what we had originally and what we had today does not match, of course, completely. Now that's about the measurements that I've done today. This structure really raises so many questions. If we follow the conventional science, which claims that the Sun people, or the Bushmen, as Europeans call them, were the only community, society here, I wouldn't call them civilization. The question is, why would somebody go through so much trouble to make this enclosure, this circle, with no openings, with no practical use, with these irregular, let's call them again circles or dry walls? It simply defies anything that's coming from our concept of people of 21st century. And the scale that they were using, I mean, half of Africa, especially South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, the scale is so large that it requires so many people. Now, have in mind that this is not a megalithic structure. Megalith, big stone, megalith goes from 1 ton up. Here we have, 2 kilos or 5 kilos, or this one is 35 kilos. They're not huge. But the amount of time, here you could not really apply technology. Here you cannot use, sound or frequency to move to. This is, for me, rather obviously labor very intensive. So it requires either many people or some type of technology. But then again, why? Why would somebody most probably force a lot of people to do that, it requires the answer. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for that.